Hi, it's Etharal here, and today we are back with our Stellaris Twilight of the Imperium mod, or the Warhammer 40,000 cosmetic mod. This is probably an easy way of putting it. Obviously, we have been playing as the Tau Empire, steadily expanding. Obviously, in the last one, we have managed to get a sort of minor sort of vassal race that are now under our control of an orc tribe, so that is hopefully they're going to continue expanding. We should be able to actually fully subjugate them in, I mean, it's going to be about 9 years, so it's going to take quite a while to get those brought into us, but hopefully once that's done, that's going to expand our options quite a fair bit there. We have obviously been looking at expanding and exploring further to the south and west to be able to actually expand our kingdom far enough, well, I say kingdom, our space empire, far enough to be able to rival the other people that are potentially getting closer to us and make sure that that way they're not going to hopefully threaten us anymore. So to go in line with that, the governor of the sector does actually order 2 new science ships to be built with the intention of being able to basically supercharge the scientific exploration and be able to expand even further. Although obviously we will need to probably expand our first fleet to be able to help combat that, as obviously a lot of these worlds do have creatures and things like that on them that we will need to remove before we can safely explore them. It is very much a case that the Tau in this, we're not necessarily always taking time to, study all these creatures. We quite simply, we want them out of the way so that way we can do what we need to do to benefit the Empire as a whole. And so, as obviously as well, our boards are expanding. We are steadily being able to build some stuff, although our 2 constructor ships are pretty quiet at the minute, as we have managed to get to the point where we have pretty much everything that we actually need. And so, we're just going to sort of continue expanding. We are considering looking further into the west as well. There does seem to be a good couple of resources and planets around there which we might be able to benefit from, so we're going to put a good focus of our science ships on trying to see what is down there to hopefully be able to expand even further. And obviously as well, we are looking at improving the output on our actual planets themselves, as our 5 planets are now pretty solid and definitely in a good state, obviously, with all being, desert worlds and things like that. Really, we do need to look at getting some colonization and look at being able to get some other planets, I think, as well. We're just going to also rename this new fleet that we seem to have randomly gotten to basically bring it in line as our second fleet, with the hope that we can eventually look at expanding on that one as well, and therefore we'll have 2 decent strength sort of fleets that we will be able to pull against other enemies if we do happen to ever need them, which is probably going to happen increasingly likely as we are obviously expanding further and further out into the stars, and with the increased obviously amount of research that we are going to be doing. And we also obviously got a colony ship down there ready to launch to a planet once we can find one that we are actually able to get, and actually be able to colony ship once we get a new planet even. Sorry, gotten a little bit tongue-tied there. So we will hopefully be able to expand, and then we be able to create our second sector. Obviously the first sector I'd like to think is the prime sector, the one that we obviously control of the 5 planets, and then hopefully we should be able to get some more in the near future with any luck. But here we've got obviously our first fleet, which is quite a strong fleet comparative to our other one, which is moving around, although it is taking a little bit of hits there. Obviously it was at sort of 18 or so ships earlier on. It's now down to 14, so it's taken a decent hit from them, but it is still managing to keep going. So hopefully, it should be able to be at least a little bit, still going for at least a little bit with any luck, although we'll have to see how that one goes. We're going to move in as well an actual guy to be able to survey this system, which apparently has another green, so there is another planet that potentially we will actually be able to colonize with any luck. Hopefully it shouldn't be another one where, because of Xenos interaction, we can't do it or anything like that, but we'll have to wait and see how all of that one goes. We are also, as well, I do believe they've set up thing to be able to start getting a frontier planet in the west to be able to gain some of these areas here, and with any luck also as well obviously be able to block the Eldar from further expansion in this direction into the galaxy. Hopefully, at least. We'll obviously have to see how that one goes. Who knows, we might be able to get them to a point where they are not really able to expand much further, at least in this direction, and basically our 2 people become like a wall against each other and probably will not be the best of friends when tensions obviously with those start to rise. And so here though, before obviously it comes to any of that though, we are going to obviously continue doing our usual exploration. We're also as well increasing our research, steadily learning about more and more. We have got a reasonable amount of research, although we really could do with probably getting some more and obviously expanding a little bit further. We are obviously making profits again now, which is always obviously a good thing, and hopefully those profits we should be able to bring in to actually continue getting the profits and get back up to full amount of energy credits, and then obviously we can look at expanding further, possibly get another couple of actual frontier outposts rather than just always colonies, to then be able to claim some more land and actually be able to, you know, get some more resources, particularly on that western fringe where there does seem to be a fair bit that we can actually claim, with any luck at least. So we're going to hopefully keep doing all that. We've got there our colony ship, I believe, will hopefully be moving down here south soon, with any luck. We'll obviously have to see how that one goes. And obviously here you can see Tau there, it's all completely done, and it would seem that the governor for the planet has actually, you know, has unfortunately passed away, so we are going to need to bring in another governor, I believe, to try and get somebody onto these planets. However, unfortunately, we've actually hit a maximum for the amount of governors that we can have, apparently, so our administration is, you know, working at full efficiency. Can't seem to get my words out today. And oh, there we go, we've got another actual frontier outpost there, which is going to mean that we've got a good bit of obviously energy credits and actual research as well that we'll be able to go into. So hopefully we should be able to expand this one a good bit further. We're just setting these all up as actual, you know, one after the other, to be able to begin actually expanding these a little bit further, hopefully, at least with any luck. There is obviously a lot of research that we can actually get, so we'll have to have a look at getting all of those, and then we will be able to bring in an extra bit. We'll probably look at a good 5 to 10 between, you know, all of the different researchers. Well, actually 5 to 10 for each, one for each research, so hopefully that should put them all up to a decent, respectable amount. You know, we're obviously expanding, as you can see, our guys further. Unfortunately, we're having to sort of dodge around some places and try and check to get different ones to make sure we're not running into any dangerous ones. And there we do actually manage to get another colonization one, the tundra colonization, so hopefully that should open up some more options for our race to be able to expand onto even more planets again. Which, if that is the case, then that is going to hopefully bring up a good couple of options. Obviously, we do have, as you can see, quite a few oranges and reds places that we can't actually colonize at the minute, which would be really nice if we could actually get to them to the point where we could actually colonize, obviously. So hopefully everything should go here, and you can see, obviously, things are speeding up quite a bit. We're getting a lot more announcements, obviously, from our science vessels. It's becoming a little bit of a juggling act to try and make sure that we are actually getting all of these, keeping them working nice efficiently, and obviously getting as many of the actual places explored as possible, as quickly as possible. And there we go, we are setting off our 6th colony planet, so the one which will begin to be our new sector of space, so that's definitely good. And we are obviously expanding further down to the south, which is partially good, although one thing I would like to be a little bit careful about, obviously, is that if we do continue to expand, hopefully we will actually be able to, you know, build up the defenses in our actual Tau, the obviously capital planet, as it is quite close to the border with the craft world Eldar, and obviously if they were to attack us, you know, it wouldn't be too difficult for them to actually get to our main world, which is obviously not something that we really want to be happening there or anything like that, obviously. We'll just as well take the time to mention, obviously, if you are enjoying the series, please do be sure to subscribe, and obviously you will get your notifications for when things are coming out. Obviously, I do not want you to miss any or anything like that. And so, going back here, you can see that our fleet we've sent obviously back home for it to recoup its losses, as it was quite damaged, and we've set it up to get an extra couple of ships as well to bring it back up, and we should hit our maximum of 26. We'll hit about 25, 26, I can't remember exactly. But, you know, at the very least, that will mean that the fleet is as strong as it can be. We're going to just minimise that as well, just to hide that a bit away. So obviously, the civilian ships that we've got 8 different civilian ships that are all wandering around the galaxy, as well as the military ones. And these are obviously exploring quite a lot and building quite a lot, which we do need to hopefully try and build some more. You know, there you can see science vessels going sort of silent as they're managing to regularly, you know, every sort of, I'd like to think every month or so, we're learning about start a new sector and really starting to expand our knowledge of the area. And so here we are going to set up another research facility, hopefully, and we actually, this one, we've realized that we have actually set up pretty much one constructor ship to do all of the construction, so we are going to just swap that around and get that other constructor ship to come in and take over the last one of that to hopefully speed everything up a little bit and basically to get us more research facilities as we're obviously going hopefully a little bit sooner. And so here, see that our colony has actually established itself. It's around about a third of the way towards being a proper sort of, not quite complete planet, but at least a proper established colony rather than an actual, you know, just what it's doing at the minute of still trying to establish itself. And I'd like to think getting all of its initial buildings built so that it's a case that they won't just completely fall to pieces. And so here you can see this is our actual vassal that we have, the Orcs, the Green Crusader Horde, in the usual Orc speak way of doing things. You can see there that they be able to integrate the subject on 2252, so got about 4 or 5 years still left before we will be able to bring them directly into the Tau Empire, which is definitely going to be very useful for us to be able to do that one. And so here we just obviously we're getting some more actual research here. We've got green crystal capacitors now. Obviously I do believe we have red and blue already, so we're steadily moving up that list to hopefully be able to get some better weapons. One thing I am going to have a look at doing some point soon will definitely be having to design an actual ship myself and try and hopefully get a better quality ship than obviously just the stock ones and everything like that. It's not something that I've really played around very much in this game, and something that I will definitely have to have a bit of a look into doing, as generally obviously when you can build your own ships, actually building your own ships and tailoring them to the situations of the actual worlds itself does tend to be quite a good one to do, and you know, does make them a little bit more efficient and better at obviously the fighting rather than just the stock ones, which are for general all purpose. And so here you can see that we have our 6th planet now established, so we are actually just going to have a look and see which one we want to set up as our sector. I think it is going to be probably the new one, but you know, we will have a go and have a look, see what's going on, to try and pick what's going to possibly be best. We do switch as well a governor to this one, just to hopefully be able to boost it while it's still in its initial phases and everything like that. And I mean, it'll probably take still quite a while anyway, but there we go. We are actually going to establish up a sector. We did actually click on the wrong one, so there we go. We now have the Solemnus sector, which is obviously the Solemnus system is the head of the sector, and hopefully we will be able to expand more. So it is actually our southern borders it's hopefully going to defend, although we'll have to see how that one goes and everything. Obviously, if anyone does have any tips, if they have played obviously the game, on how to do sectors, there's something I've done a little bit, but I tend to just keep them as sort of 5 and then -5 and everything like that. Obviously, if anybody does know whether it's better to have more sort of smaller sectors or any actually like less but larger sectors, please do be sure to let me know. It's something I would be interested obviously in finding out a little bit more about, and I'll be planning to do my own research anyway, obviously. And so here we're just going through our actual planets themselves and just checking to see how they're actually going. We obviously do have some stuff to be able to clear out some of these areas with the sort of the wild, dangerous animals. So we're going to do those to obviously be able to actually build more things and increase the population on the planet. As obviously getting rid of those dangerous events on the planets will ultimately benefit me in the long run, although obviously do need still quite a lot of researchers for these. There is, safe to say, quite a lot of research that we still need to do on this game. There is, well, as always, there is a lot of research to hopefully be able to get, and we have actually there got some more energy and some more research that we can get in this one, so we're going to obviously expand onto there and get another mining and research facility where we are getting a fair few of them, to say the least. So you know, hopefully they should all go pretty well, and as you can see, our research, certainly for the green one and the yellow one, have increased considerably. They're both up to +40, although blue one is one that we could do probably with focusing on more than a little bit. It is still at 25, so there's still a lot more to go with that one to bring it up into line with all the others, although you can obviously, we'll just been able to see there very, very quickly that there is obviously quite a fair bit of research and everything in this western area, and there are a good couple of planets as well if we can just get the colonization abilities, that we do need to start moving onto those planets as well, with any luck in obviously coming episodes. So hopefully we'll have to see how that one goes, and hopefully we'll be able to expand further into the west, as there is a lot of planets there would really like to obviously try and grab, and that would be basically, by the looks of things, that western bit would be a whole sector unto itself. So we're going to leave it there for today. Hope obviously you did enjoy the video. If you did, do be sure to subscribe for all future content, so obviously you don't miss out on them or anything like that. So thank you very much for watching. I have been Etharal here at EGN, and I'll see you next time.